handle the pressure Janikowski, though, has over the last 2 decades in the NFL. And Williams will run it out about 5 yards deep. Remember, the rule was changed last year to on touchbacks you get it to the 25, and Williams elects to run it out and is close to the 30-yard line. Wasn't himself, but the second half of last season was outstanding. They run it on first down. David Johnson makes his way past the 30 and picks up a couple, or he's brought down by Mario Edwards. Didn't get it in the regular season finale was because of injury. Palmer going to throw here on second down, and the pass is off target, but a flag.
Pass interference, defense number 21. Ball replaces on the foul, automatic, first down.
So there at the top of your screen, 14th year in the NFL. Johnson running right, trying to get outside. Able to slip a tackle and close to a first down. Here we see the speed and power of David Johnson. He'll get it again. And Johnson skips through a hole. Man, he got hit hard, though, at the 47-yard line by Carl Joseph, first-round draft choice a year ago out of West Virginia by the Raiders.
Amazing.
Play fake for Carson here on second and long, airing it out. Boy, Jerron Brown wide open, but the ball was overthrown. That was a big story early last year, unable to hook up on deep passes. Palmer steps up here. Nelson on the catch and the first down before he scoots out inside the 35. You saw that speed there of J.J. Nelson. Down in 6 games. Run play here. Chris Johnson off the right side. He's inside the 30. His 10th year, age 31. He'll get it again. And the cutback not there. Stood up at the 30-yard line by Justin Ellis. So that's a loss on the play of about 2. Bring up third down and long. Third down and 6. We may have seen the last of David Johnson tonight. Palmer looking, and his pass is caught by Gresham for a first down. This drive from the 21 of Oakland, and a quick pass that's off the mark intended for Jerron Brown. So twice now, Carson and Brown unable to make a connection. Second and 10. Palmer to throw again. And again, time. Caught at the 15-yard line. Britton Golden on the catch. That's Andre Ellington in the backfield. Palmer going for Ellington, but it's incomplete. 42-19th NFL season. There is a penalty marker down, but that one is on the money from 33 yards. Field goal's number 10 on that list.
Illegal formation on the defense. They're recovering the snapper. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So they take the points off the board because of the penalty on the Raiders. And it'll be a first down for the Cardinals at the 15-yard line. So first down and goal on the 10-yard line. Chris Johnson hit behind the line and tackled. A loss of 2 on the play. Markel. So second and goal on the 12-yard line. Palmer with time. And it is incomplete, intended for Gresham. And goal on the 12. Palmer to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. It's Britton Golden on the grab.
Good throw by Carson Palmer right there. You take a look at it here, working inside.
Here at the beginning of the year, there was some lingering injuries. He really wasn't himself until midseason. He's been money in camp.
Very, very balanced run pass.
Matt Weil is kicking off. He is in a battle for the starting punter job, and this will help his cause. The ability to kick off and kick it deep. Touchback. It'll come out to the 25 for Oakland. This made him happy because when he watches a replay, he's going to be psyched he called him that. As E.J. Manuel is in at quarterback because Derek Carr is not playing tonight. Neither is Amari Cooper, their outstanding wide receiver. Cordero Patterson on the catch. Second down and 5. Manuel stumbled, and Washington with a big running lane gets the first down to the 39. May have to start week 1. Manuel rolling left, and he has an open man, Seth Roberts on the catch. First down. And they're going to run Washington again. And he's bottled up this time. A helmet comes off of a Raider.
Boy, flags on the ground.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
That's first down at the 40. Manuel. And a catch at the 35-yard line. Lee Smith, the tight end. DeAndre Washington slips, and down he goes. Here's at the 34-yard line. And Manuel's pass is caught. There's the Badger. In coverage, pushing Roberts out of bounds before the first down marker. Bukowski on for a 51-yard attempt. And it's short. Normally, that's no problem for him. You wondered, did it get tipped? A lot of people wondering whether the signing of Blaine Gabbert is Drew Stanton in trouble as the number 2, as Andre Ellington gets the call and picks up about 2 or 3. 2nd and 8 for Stanton. Ellington again. And he gets maybe 1 to the 44.
7-5 as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Pass play on 3rd down. On target there and right on cue. Finding Ellington for the first down. Larry Fitzgerald, and you get in the huddle with Drew Stanton. There is a comfort level there. Stanton going to air it out here, throwing into double coverage, and it was almost there. Taking a deep shot, unable to connect.
Confidence.
Ellington on the draw with running room past the 35, getting the first down. Back at running back. First down on the 30. This is Kerwin Williams in the game. Knocked down at the 27, picking up 3. 2nd down and 7 on the 27-yard line. Here's Williams again. Great balance by Williams, and then he coughed the ball up. Right into the arms of Markel Lee. Williams trying to rip it away from him, but it's going to be Raider football. Or did Kerwin get it back? They're signaling that it's Raider ball, but Kerwin's got the football to cure it. The ruling on the field is it's Oakland ball. This would be very hard to overturn on replay.
Well, that's a shame right there. They're running 23 double. It's the power without the pull, and you can see he's running and trying to get extra yards, keeping the legs churning, putting the hand down to the ground. That's when the football is its most vulnerable.
Recovered by the opponent. Good defense here as Richard gets nailed by Marcus Golden. What a year Golden had last year. 3rd in the NFL in sacks. Here's E.J. Manuel on 2nd and 12, and his pass is caught at the 27-yard line.
What a tackle. That'd be hysterical.
3rd and 4 for Manuel, and a missed tackle, and Patterson is one of the fastest guys in the NFL, has a first down out to the 45-yard line.
Right there, and then you wrap both arms and lift.
Richard straight ahead for about 5. Another run play between the tackles, and there's Robert Kindici trying to get off a block. Boy, has he looked good in camp, but cement surgery. But he fought for it to try to play. 3rd and short. Richard wrapped up. Kindici there again. Scooby Wright as well, but the Deach helped make the play in the backfield, 4th down. And they stuff it. Cardinals take over on downs on their 46-yard line and stand to the air here on 1st and 10. Gonna air it out and overthrew the intended receiver, but a flag. That's the 2nd time he's gone deep to Hubert.
That's what the flag was for.
Illegal contact, defense number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's 2. Here's Andre Ellington, and trouble in the backfield, and down he goes. James Cowser on the stop for Oakland.
I'll go with Khalil Mack.
Stanton goes for Troy Nicholas. And Nicholas brought down at the 44, picking up about 8 that time. 3rd and 5, and Stanton finds Ross for a first down. Something as simple as that, though, and how Stanton executed that play, right? You could take it for granted just as a casual fan, maybe. Stanton steps up, eludes pressure, and finds the open man. It's Britton Golden having a night. Inside the 10, it'll be 1st and goal. He picks up 25 yards on the play.
5.
Goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Ellington in trouble, no running room, so no gain on the play. And so the same coordinator for the last 5 or 6 years. Gabbert's had a different guy every season. Ellington gets the call again, gets maybe 1 or 2.
Blah, 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 blah.
3rd and goal for Stanton. Again gets out of there. And he finds Nicholas for the touchdown. What a great play by Stanton.
Buying himself a little bit of time. Watch him extend the play right here. Moving out to his right. There's Troy Nicholas uncovering. Nice grab. The kid from Notre Dame.
Now the Cardinals have been desperate for Troy Nicholas to reach that potential and first of all stay healthy. Dawson puts it through again. They go way back. They were drafted the same class, and Palmer says he became a fan of Leftwich. Do you remember when Leftwich was at Marshall and he got hurt and his offensive lineman carried him down the field to run the next play? As Mickens returns this to the 15 and lost the ball. Cardinal players say they have it, and they do. They just changed it. One official just stepped in and said, no, Raider ball.
It doesn't cover by the Cardinals kickoff cover.
Hard to see that number flash by there on the screen. Maybe we get you a different look as DeAndre Washington is out to about the 17-yard line for 4 yards.
The coffin kick, because we were going to stuff, metaphorically speaking, the return man into a pine box.
Really, I thought you were being literal as the catch is made by Walford. I'm glad Scooby Wright was the one that forced the fumble on that kickoff. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Manuel going deep. His arm got hit, and it's overthrown. Trying for Patterson.
Not his first rodeo. Tramon Williams has been around.
Washington hit in the backfield and spilled, and guess who? Robert Kimdichie all over it. Also Josh Bynes, 7th NFL season out of Auburn, in on the stop. They lost Calais Campbell in free agency. They need Kimdichie this year. Manuel hit and sacked. Kareem Martin was there first to the Cardinals. Kerwin Williams going to get a chance here to return the punt from Marquette King, one of the best punters in the NFL. And he booms that one. Running room though for Kerwin Williams. Does his job, right?
Oh, I love that.
It's in a touchdown so far, 14-0. Stanton back to work. Going for Ellington out of the backfield. Where I think a lot of guys were focused on some other stuff going into camp last year. Screen pass, Ellington with a one-hand grab. And Ellington able to shake a couple of defenders. Makes it to about the 43. Picks up 3 yards. Stanton with time. And throws a strike to Ross for a first down. The former Raider to the 46-yard line. At least in the NFL, signing with Buffalo. And he's traded Sammy Watkins. Stanton over the middle to Ross. Another catch near the 30-yard line. 15 more yards and a first down. Stanton 8 of his last 8 passing, including a touchdown. Going to work here and going for 6 points. Instead, it is nearly picked off. On the Raider 31. And Ellington able to slip a tackle in the backfield and get positive yardage before he's pushed out inside the 30-yard line. A pickup of about 4 that time for Ellington. 53-man roster. Stanton, 3rd and 7 with time, and he dumps it off for a first down. Ellington again out of the backfield, showing his worth as a receiver again.
Ray Ellington, the focal point of that operation.
Stanton with a quick snap and a fire to the end zone. Got an open man, but he overthrew Chris Hubert. Atlanta and at Denver before starting the regular season at Detroit. Stanton fires across the middle to about the 10-yard line, short of the line to gain about 4 yards. Ifani Moma on the catch. Moma missed most of last year due to injury. A first year with the Cardinals. 3rd and 5 for Drew Stanton and the Cardinal offense from the 10. Stanton in the pocket, unloads, incomplete, trying to hit Ellington. Markel Lee in coverage. 4th down, and here comes Phil Dawson. Stanton again, something we've talked about throughout this show. As Phil Dawson sneaks that one inside the right upright. As Arizona tacks on 3 more, 17-0 Cardinals.
2 steps and then went north. Man, you got to stoke it, baby.
Jadon Mickens, the deep man, but Dawson hammers that one through the end zone. E.J. Manuel back to throw, and the pass low and incomplete at the 30-yard line.
You could actually afford to lose a guy. I don't want to trivialize it because, again, Zeke Elliott is a great player. Forget about anything else and what happened.
That seems to be the team, though, as Manuel on first down with a beautiful throw down the seam inside the 40-yard line to Clyde Walford. He's a big guy. Another on-target throw. Raiders may have to call a timeout here. They're at 10 seconds. Rookie in training camp so far. Reddick's been good too, but Baker maybe more so. From 43 yards, that one is good, and the Raiders on the board. They got so many options, including blitz packages, right, with Badger, Buda Baker. We know Tyron when healthy. Terrific pass rusher. Here's George Atkinson on the kick return for the Raiders, and he can't make it to the 25.
Disaster struck.
First down on the 19-yard line. Cook, pass way high, intended for Johnny Holton. Incomplete.
Cutler. Here's Jay Cutler, a guy that has all the talent in the world, but that's always been his knock.
Cook's pass caught at the 24-yard line, a gain of about 5. They get one more shot, which Cutler did with the Dolphins. Cook on third down and 5 gets hit as he throws, and it's broken up. Incomplete. Look at Buda Baker. That closing speed on the receiver. Fourth down.
Well, once
Marquette King, terrific punter. One thing the Raiders have had for years, whether it was Shane Leckler or King, the best punters in the game. A beauty there. Ross on the fair catch at the 18-yard line.
The eye black. Smear it up.
You don't want to get it in your eye, though, as Elijah Penny. It's about
coaching staff. We're going to find out, I think, because I think he's going to make the team.
In trouble here. Gets out of there and then brought down for a sack. Trayvon Hester got him.
He's 6'4", 235 pounds, and he has a laser for an arm.
Cardinals just going to be conservative here on third and long and run the ball. And they get back near the line of scrimmage. Richie Leone on the punt. He and Matt Weil and perhaps others are in the mix for the punting job. This is a great kick by Leone. Kind of an awkward catch there by Mickens. Gets a big block. And down the sideline, Mickens steps out at the 37-yard line.
That is 1 in 10's brother.
Here's Crockett on the carry, wrapped up in the backfield and brought down by Josh Bynes, who's made several plays in this game so far.
Bad things that would have happened.
Don't ignore the question. You did have a mullet, though. Connor Cook's pass juggled and incomplete. Television broadcast. You try to yank on that thing ever when you guys met in the hole?
Matt Billen, I guarantee you right now, that was a bad man.
Great run for a first down on the dump-off pass by John Crockett. On 3rd and 12, the Cardinals defense can't get off the field.
You got Bynes down the field as well. Well executed by the Raiders. At some point, you just got to tip your cap to them and say, hey, well executed. Nice job.
Crockett again, the running back. And here's an end around to Mickens inside the 30. Flag down. Mickens. Oh, big hit by Mickens on Harlan Miller. Mickens isn't a big guy, but he laid the lumber that time.
Legal use of the hands, hands to the face. Defense number 48. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Cook to the end zone. Incomplete, but another flag. Buda Baker may have had a hold of Gabe Holmes, the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Defense number 36. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball we placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
This isn't college, David.
First down and goal on the 1. And they run Crockett, and he's in. Touchdown, Oakland. From North Dakota State, second NFL season with a 1-yard score.
That was a nice job right there. You can see they brought Harlan Miller. They brought that thing in. Watch him actually make the cut right there. Harlan Miller getting ready to make the play. He's fighting for his job, no doubt.
Gets the extra point. 17-10 Arizona. But he doesn't need to be playing right now. How about it led the league in catches last year at age 32?
Incredible athlete, really is.
Here's Ross on the return, kind of stumbled and does not get to the 15-yard line.
BA moved him inside into the slot. You play from the slot, you're going to get a little blood in the mouth.
Gabbard, who's an excellent athlete, by the way, stepped out of bounds at the 12, so he actually lost a couple of yards. Do it again next year. Well, he did. He almost had as many catches. Can he do it again in 2017? There was no talk in the media. I don't know if Larry actually.
For the most part, I feel smooth. I feel good. Just looking forward to a successful season this year.
Tonight, first game action for you. How did it feel just getting out there, going up against someone other than yourselves?
Go out there, get a good sweat in right before the season opener.
A lot of the younger guys continually look up to you. I watch them in practice.
How to get the job done and also how to be a professional.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, Lisa, here's Jadon Mickens on the return for the Raiders, and he's wrapped up at the 40-yard line by Elijah Penny. Told that one went 65 yards.
Crushed it.
Connor Cook off play action, and he dumps it off to Pharaoh Brown. Big tackle by Gump Hayes on Pharaoh. Not sure what you're inferring there. Trying to get outside that time. Atkinson. Cook gets rid of it and Bynes with another good play, this time in coverage. Packers gave Martin out with an injury. Will Josh Bynes make the roster? Cook's pass caught, a first down. Sojourn Shelton in coverage gave a lot of room that time to Johnny Holton, and they're able to move the sticks. Cornerback because of injury. Shelton, an undrafted rookie out of Wisconsin. Cook down the sideline. What a catch! Was he in bounds? Receiver went out of bounds.
He did not come back in and reestablish. Therefore, the ruling is an incomplete pass.
There you go.
Damn.
I don't even think he caught the ball in bounds to begin with, but 2nd and 10 at the 34. Cook, fade pattern. I'm not sure the receiver saw the ball. Johnny Holton. Sojourn Shelton was running with him down the sideline. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. Veteran players early so they can sign elsewhere. He said, you know, we've had problems though as Cook's pass is caught. Close to a first down is Mickens. 3. Another run play. Atkinson stood up. Gain of maybe 2. Bynes in there again. 2nd and 8. Connor Cook to throw with time. And a big hit, jarring the ball free. It's picked up by Harlan Miller. They roll it a catch. Josh Bynes with a huge hit on the tight end Holmes to poke the ball loose. Harlan Miller fell on the ball. The officials are still uncertain, though, what happened. Ruling on all instant replay.
Is a catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. The defensive player has been down by contact. Arizona's ball, first down.
He's made a couple of plays here tonight.
Is now under review.
So we're going to have our first review of the night. Now again, was it a catch, and then was Miller down by contact here by Connor Cook? Boy, it's hard to tell. Did the ball come out?
Yeah.
Before the knee went down.
How about Connor Cook with a physical tackle?
Yeah.
As the cue. Might want to put a neck roll on him. Look at this right here, Bynes. That's blood farming, Dave. Did you see that?
Review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Arizona's ball, first down.
So when they say that, and you
great.
have to be 100% certain to overturn the ruling in the field. And the video didn't show that. Big hole here. Straight ahead for Penny out to the 40-yard line, a 9-yard run. Can you move over to the right a little bit?
Confidence is a beautiful thing, David.
You're falling in love with that thing. Penny with a first down, moving the pile out to the 46-yard line. First down for the Cards on their 46. Gabbard still in at quarterback. Quick pass here out on the flat to Bundy, and Bundy has a first down. Out of bounds at the 42. Gain of 12 on the play. Back to Penny on first down, lowers the shoulder. And brought down by 3 Raiders after a 2-yard pickup. Special teams comes into play then. Short set for Gabbard. And nice catch made by Krishawn Hogan, a Fitz lookalike who's out of Marion. 3rd and 2, Penny. Just buries himself into the defense, just burrowing into defenders. 32 in the final minute of the third quarter. And he gets the call again. Wrapped up after a gain of 3.
Yeah, the Wichita.
Was that the quarter where you got planted by the fridge? and you thought you had blacked out, but it was actually his gut wrapped around your helmet, refrigerator Perry. Is that true? Was that the fourth quarter? They give it to him here in short yardage. They do. Henning able to break a tackle and get the first down to the 19-yard line.
To the table, the physicality at the point.
I've clearly enabled you. Gabbert hit as he throws, but Ross can't come up with it in the end zone. It would have been a touchdown. Teams guy, Ross is a good special teams player. Here's Penny, and he gets upended. The safety, Shalom Luwani, coming in there. Gain of 1 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and long here for Arizona. 3rd and 8 on the 17. Gabbert in trouble. Down he goes, sacked at the 26-yard line.
Or who you are.
43-yard try from Dawson. And it's on the money, splitting the uprights.
Hit it. And a guy who tackled the ball that way was called a blood farm.
I think the embodiment of blood farming is in the building tonight in former Raider Matt Millen, who's in the Raider TV booth tonight. Holton on the return, breaks a tackle past the 20-yard line. Cardinals turning back inside, and he's brought down to the 27.
Pass protection, knowing my guy, knowing what I have, and then being an effective blocker. Then another thing I worked on really was my routes. You know, I had all that learning is finally came off to have some success.
You've said that this year for you, you're playing for Carson.
Taught me how to be a professional. You know, how to carry myself, how to conduct myself in interviews and stuff. So I've learned a lot from him too.
And it's the first night that Baby DJ's
And allows him to look at himself and see where it is that he needs to get better. And where he needs to get better is in blitz pickup.
Here's Johnny Holton on the end around, 1st down.
Run wide receiver routes and throw him the ball with the intention of throwing it to a wide receiver.
Pisoni Tassini with a nice play. Tackle for a loss of about 3 yards.
About it, David. And again, this is a situation where he's got to become accustomed to it. He's coming from northern Iowa. They ran a complete can actually do the things that David Johnson does on the perimeter.
Raiders running on 3rd and long, and the Cardinals are all over it. Cappy makes the play for the Cards.
Eating nothing but broccoli casserole in the offseason. Lost like 30 pounds, but didn't want to play football anymore. I told him to go get some cheeseburgers. Eat the cheeseburgers. Do it.
Cart and a painted face, right?
Indeed.
That's the opposite of that. 1 catch for Nicholas last year. Here's Bundy on the grab. He gets picked up and suplexed at the 34, but it's a 1st down, gain of 12.
1 back, 3 tight ends. Uses it often.
Gabbert, as a flag flies, takes off and again shows what a good athlete he is out of bounds near the 40-yard line, picking up 5. We'll see if it comes back, though.
Just 1 read
There
and
are 2
run.
fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Holding, 69 on the offense. Holding, number 25 on the defense. Both fouls will offset. Replay, 1st down.
By the way, you mentioned Super Bowl team that beat the Cardinals. That's where he had that relationship with Bruce Arians when B.A. was running the offense for Mike Tomlin on that team.
That is.
From the 39, 2nd and 5. Gabbert to throw. Just off the mark, intended for Hogan. So 3rd and 5 coming up. Wait till Jack finds out you were commenting about the size of his dome. 3rd and 5, Gabbert's pass caught for a 1st down.
Those 2 guys right there, I guarantee you better have a garbage can on top of your head.
Gabbert off play action, gets out of there, heads for the sideline and steps out, gets positive yardage, gain of about 4 to the 49 of Oakland. To work with guys like Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree, neither of whom play tonight. Run play on 2nd and 6, and Penny gets about 3. There's Rob because of what he accomplished as a player. How about Rod Woodson's on the Raider staff as well? Hall of Famer.
Woody.
Bundy on the catch and a 1st down as the Cardinals pick up 3rd and 4 inside the 35-yard line.
Got a release, strong, laser-like arm.
Here's Gabbert again. That one wide of the target, Krishawn Hogan. And he's a legit number 2. And the Cardinals are trying to decide, okay, at some point Larry Fitzgerald's going to retire. Is John Brown a number 1?
Way you got to get it to 11 inside the 20, and he'll get it in.
Gabbard over the middle, juggled and dropped.
Saboteur.
Oh, he got it down. Laces were out, but the kick is way off the mark. Next week, the Cardinals will host the Chicago Bears as Connor Cook fires complete to Isaac Whitney. Gets about 7.
Everyone settled down.
Yeah, but if you're a Bears fan, better than the alternative.
You know, look, Mitchell Trubisky was impressive. Just everyone step back. But it sure beats the alternative, no doubt.
Well, the officials rule incidental contact on that play. But it's 2nd and 10. Cardinals bring a little pressure here. That back shoulder throw off the mark, incomplete. Pretty good.
With an offensive line that was mishmash at the end of the season.
But this year in preseason, if we want to read into that, as that pass broken up. Last year, though, you don't think there were any signs there with the struggle in the preseason?
No, I've seen way too many teams that have struggled in the preseason and then go out and score 50 in week 1.
That was really the game that told us all we needed to know about how things were going to play out last year. By the way, Trevor Knight is in at quarterback. The Cardinals are 1-3 last year after the loss. That's assuming the stadium's ready for that ball game. And then the Cardinals finish up the preseason in Denver. You will have the call with Paul Calvisi on that last preseason game. The State just a week after our preseason game in that stadium on a Saturday night.
Painting the doors down in Atlanta.
Here's James Summers, a rookie from East Carolina, 23 years old. Getting the call, picking up the first down. Cardinals just going to take a knee here and end this game. So that'll do it. The Cardinals win 20-10. Byron Leftwich called a good game. First team offense scored on their opening drive for the 2nd straight game. And I think, as far as we know, the best news is that there were no major injuries. We have heard nothing with regard to injury. Remember last week, T.J. Logan broke his wrist, costing him at least 3 months. A couple guys didn't play tonight because of injury. DJ Humphries, John Brown, hopefully they're back.